Calvin T. Mann, leading EMIY, served over 20,000 youth through speaking, coaching, and mentoring. He has inspired us for years. Welcome to EMIY TV Podcast with your host, Calvin T. Mann, the Encourager.
All right, hey, live, welcome. Hello, arrivederci. Welcome. What else could I say? El Zocalo. Anyway. Welcome to Put Your Family First podcast. Woo! I'm loaded and I'm being quiet, so I'm going to let this show go the way it's going to go. And today is about family and community wellness. For those of you looking for solutions, we always talk solutions around here. We don't have people in here talking about 2-3 mamas and all that crazy stuff and baby daddies and what star is sleeping with who and all. We don't do that. We talk solutions. And today we have a special guest, LaJoy Morgan.
Hello, Calvin. Hello.
How are you?
I'm doing great, and you?
Good. We can't go beyond LaJoy. I wanted to invite LaJoy first because, somebody was trying to be slick, so I shot a slick move myself, right? Anyway, the queen is in the building. Miss Heather.
Good day, good people. Happy to be here as always.
Awesome. So I got to share something before we get into this conversation. Last night, I kind of went live on Instagram, and in the discussion about, because LaJoy, I don't know how much you know about me, but for me, it's boys, men, husbands, and fathers.
Okay.
And it's important that our boys know it's somebody out here who loved them. And it's the same for the men, right? It's the same for all our children. But being one of the people that they always use words like marginalized.
Yes.
Male, saying I'm a marginalized male, and they use negative terms like the N-word and he ain't no good. They use all those kind of terms. And, since I was a little boy, I had to say, I learned these things. Like, these were the things that was taught in my, family environment. Like, I learned these things. In my family environment, we crack jokes. And,
that's right.
And laugh. And even my mama, she didn't like that, right? She like, y'all just like y'all daddy, Because we, we was quick wit and snapped on each other and laughed. We still do that till this day. Me and my brothers and my sisters, if we in the room, jokes go to flying, right? And it's just what we do, right? It's a family thing that we do. But I know today you guys want to get into this conversation, but I just had to say that last night I shared that we will every Thursday at 7 p.m. boys from anywhere and everywhere are welcome to join the conversation with us live on Instagram with resources, information, men. I'm going to do my best to grow this so they will know that they are loved. With that being said, Heather, it is your show.
Well, thank you kindly, Calvin.
You're welcome.
I'm excited to have our special guest, LaJoy Morgan, in the room with us today. I want to thank our engineer, Monique, for keeping it all together today and getting us through this podcast. And just we have a fly on the wall in the room too. My mother, Paula Honey Miller. So she's sitting back in the shadows, just kind of observing the day. But I do want to acknowledge her presence, and so happy that she is here. Happy that I have my mom to be here. So such a blessing. So we're talking about family and community wellness today, and we're gonna ask some questions of our expert, LaJoy Morgan, of Healing Umbrella, LM Healing Umbrella. But I want to just kind of frame the conversation for today around family and community wellness. So as we look at our family, which, you know, on our podcast, we always talk about put your family first. We know that the way to heal community is to heal family. The way we heal family is to heal ourselves. And so the more we are able to heal ourselves, the stronger our families become, the stronger our families become, the more healing and wellness is in our community. And when you have a strong community, you have a thriving society. And we know that while we see the things that are prominent in media, and we experience and we feel the kind of energy that we have in our city today, and I'll just start with just our city of Detroit. There is a lot of areas that are healing and at various stages of healing. So there are some things that have to be, just like when you have a wound, that infection has to be healed from the inside out and the outside in. So there's a couple of things that you have to do. And so if we want to really experience community healing, if we really want to experience family healing, it has to come from the inside out. There's some things that other organizations, other people are doing. There are people whose purpose is just to pray every day for the leadership, to pray every day for the children, to pray every day for the families. If that's what you're called to do, then do your part. Because if we really want to see this healing take place, and it is taking place. Now, for some of us, it's not happening fast enough. But what I don't want people to do is to lose hope that there is something already being done and there are things already in place, because it seems so slow. It seems that it's not manifesting. But let me assure you that there are people, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 6 of us in the room right now doing our part. So if you have 6 in one room doing their part every moment of every day, that healing must come.
Unless you see somebody else in here, it's only 5.
Oh, okay. It's 5. I'm being corrected. There's only 5 of us in the studio. Thank you, Calvin. I'm thinking you telling me it's 5 minutes. I done talked 5 minutes. But just to set the framework for this conversation and to really share this dynamic woman and a lot of the things that she's doing and the care and concern that she has for family and for community, is her voice just needs to be heard. It just needs to be heard. And the work that she's doing to help heal our families and heal our community is phenomenal work. I'll get to that in just a moment, because I want to get just on my soapbox just for a little bit longer, because I always believe that we have a reset, that wherever you were yesterday and whatever you did yesterday can be impacted by what you start doing today or what you stop doing today. And so
Yes.
how we heal is extremely important. And we all need to know and remember that this is not a hopeless situation. We can replace the things that we see with the things that we want to see at every given moment, at any given step. And that starts within you first. If you know that the things that you're doing are not productive for the type of person you want to be, the type of family you want to have, and the type of community you want to live in, then change it. It's you. You can't wait for somebody else to come along and do the work. You have to do the work, whether that's mental wellness, whether that's physical wellness, whatever that is that we know we need to heal within us. We need to do that work, and that's really important. And so I do want to take a time now to introduce LaJoy Morgan again. And I'm just going to ask her kind of just to start. Tell us a little bit about yourself, your beliefs, your philosophy. What makes you who you are?
Well, thank you, Heather. That was a great introduction. You are so gracious. So a couple of my beliefs are just basically there are no failures. Even when you fail, you win. As long as you're learning from it. So this is something that I kind of try to instill in my children. And the people around me, and just keep stretching your arm and challenging yourself to be a better person every day. You can always be work on you, and keep stretching and challenging, and be big and bold with your dreams. You're never too old to dream big. It's never too late, and so those are some of the things that I instilled in my children and the people around me. And just always treat people how you want to be treated. Treat everybody with dignity and respect. If we can just get these 4 things down packed as a whole, as a community, we're going places.
For sure. Calvin, what about you? What's your philosophy?
Pimping ain't easy. and to clarify that, and there's nothing that you're gonna do in this life that's easy. If it is easy, you either had an advantage, you either took a shortcut, which means you're gonna crash at some point, or somebody handed you something, so you ain't gonna be able to hold on to it. So for me, it's everything that you do is not easy, and as the sister said, every failure is a blessing and a lesson.
That's correct.
If you can understand that, you'll be fine. Keep going. Persevere. Get up. Keep going. Get knocked down. Get up again. Keep going. Make a mistake. Turn it into a lesson. For real. I mean, I'm still just blown away from this international conference. Like, I'm stuck.
You want to share a little bit about that? That's a big part of where you are in terms of community wellness and the view that you have from that.
Well, it's like, okay, so here is LaJoy. She's doing this work. Now, being there, you saw hundreds, thousands of LaJoys there to get information, to move the concept, the vision, the purpose, the business, the nonprofit, the idea, the church, whatever you were in, they were there to move.
Correct.
No one went and invested in this position or this place to walk out of there and stay in the same spot. And for me, the most powerful thing one of the most powerful things I heard while I was there came from the CEO from Wells Fargo stated, now this is powerful. He stated that, how did he put this? He said, your culture will be defined by its worst actions.
Wow.
Right? Meaning that how they see you, it will be defined by the very thing that you saw that was the worst action, and you allowed it.
Wow, that is deep.
The fact that your worst actions are allowed. Right? And so for me, it's just, I've been in this, place because Saturday I lost my uncle, right? So, on the way, on the plane, coming, and I went to reminiscing about my Uncle Eddie, right? And so my Uncle Eddie, like my entire family, like if you were to see our family, you would be blown away because everybody's married. Right? Everybody's got kids.
Okay.
And everybody's doing it. It's 1 million of us. It's not just 1,000. I mean, like, it's 1 million of us.
Okay.
And so when you get out, when I got out the car, his son was right there and said, y'all know we're not about to turn this into a, whining thing, right? Like, we going to celebrate. And it was like, oh, for sure. This is a celebration. That is what life really is. And so for me, that's what I took away from the event, that I'm not supposed to wear these things so heavy. I'm supposed to prosper these things forward. So somebody else's kids, and grandkids can benefit from the purpose that God gave me. I think that's the best way to put it.
Wow. And so let me fill in a few gaps. So Calvin attended a leadership conference, specifically the T.D. Jakes International Leadership Conference. So, it was a mix of leaders from various walks of life, from the financial industry, from, of course, ministry, and from, of course, Wells Fargo, right? So major financials. But there were other types of events and workshops and breakout sessions that were taking place. Another one was cybersecurity, like some things that we're not paying attention to, right? Personally and professionally. Intergenerational workplace, what it's like to work with someone from a different generation and a different way of doing things, and how you pull all that together to have a successful workplace, and what you contribute and the value that you bring as an individual. Really, really powerful other breakout sessions. But some of the areas that I think were most impactful had to do with the family, had to do with understanding that God works in generations. So regardless of what your beliefs may be, or your belief systems, or the religious systems that we have, it always goes back to family. And it's funny to me that all of this action is transpiring, and we're looking at family, and I've been awakening over these last couple of months around the real value of family when you look through the lens of a generation. So, and I mentioned my mom is in the studio, but my mom right now is seeing her generation. She's seeing her children's generation. She's seeing her children's generation, and then her children's children generation. Wow. So it's a blessing to see that. But you know what? God works in generation. If you look at any story in the Bible, you will see. And what if you needed just needed some guidance on that, you can look. There's a whole census. There's several places in the Bible where there is a census, and I'm not just trying to point out the Bible. I'm just trying to point out a framework that I think that we get lost in. Mm-hmm. We think through the lens of self and us and me, where I am right now. Right. We don't get to project ourselves into the future and see that the behaviors that we have today is actually imprinted on your DNA, and the way things are passed from generation to generation, whether it's ideas and values and lifestyles and behaviors. All of those things are passed down through your DNA. So if I wasn't here to see my great grandfather, who I had the pleasure and honor to meet and know, but if I didn't have him, he's still a part of me, and part of him has been passed down through my father, or my mother's side through my mother, and is now mine. Like that memory, that genetic memory is there. Right. And we so often think that the things that we're doing, even the things that we do in secret or in private, are hidden. There is no hiding. There's no place to hide. So if we're not doing that self-work, that means you're not doing the work for your generations to come. Wherever you are, being able to change and shift, because you understand it's not just you. It's not just you. So when we talk about family and community, we have to start looking 3 generations down the line at the impact of what we do today.
Yeah, that's you are totally huge. It is. It's very huge, Heather.
So with that being said, LaJoy, tell us about your journey in parenting and family.
Well, my journey as far as parenting, I have like 4 daughters. So throughout that journey, being a single mom, I had to instill a lot of things into them, which I got from my mom. You know, my mom was a very strict mom. She come from that era where what happens in this household stays in this household. So I learned a lot from her, but I also learned that we need to have this conversation about mental health, because that generation from my mom come from and her mom, they never had that conversation. It was never talked about as far as mental health. You knew something was wrong, but they didn't discuss it. So now what we're seeing in our society today is a lot of mental health that has came to the forefront that needs to be addressed. And like Heather was saying earlier, these values was instilled in us growing up from our DNA, and it's missing. It's missing right now. So my parenting journey was very interesting. You know, I instilled my philosophies in my children. I instilled faith in my children. And I instilled faith into my everyday works, because those are the things that made me who I am today. You know, my faith and just having those core values that I got from my parents.
Were their fathers involved as well?
Unfortunately, no. I had this conversation yesterday. It was a hard struggle, but I wouldn't change it, because the struggle, like you said, it was a lesson. It was never a failure. I learned the lesson. And so I did what I had to do to raise my girls. They don't know what it is, what the struggle is. And I find that to be some of what's going on with the children today. They don't know what the struggle is. They have a sense of entitlement.
Yeah, you're giving them everything.
Yes.
So let me ask you this. You know, what really inspires you then? What inspires you to do this work in the community that you're doing right now?
I think I was born a social worker. Actually, I've been doing social work even when I didn't realize I was doing social work. So my mom always fed everyone. Everybody stayed at her home. And I didn't realize until she passed away that her house was so little. Because growing up, I thought it was so huge because it was filled with so much love. And all the people came and ate and stayed. And when she passed away, I went into the house. I'm like, wow, this house is really just a 3-bedroom, 1,000 square feet home. But growing up, it didn't seem that way because it had so much love in it. You know, so those are the things that kind of inspired me, seeing what she did. So I always took people in. I fed people. And I was like, it's something that I need to do. You know, as far as go back to school, get educated, where I can come back to the community and I can have a greater impact, where I can help people and advocate for them on a different level.
That's awesome. I grew up the same way, right? We grew up in those households, and these households are 1 million people. They come by. You would have thought my mother was the governor. When she passed away. You know, it's the same for my dad. When my dad passed away, you'd have thought he was the governor. Like, it was, right? And it was because of that very thing, right?
Yeah.
And how you do those things really impact the community. You know what I mean? And that's a powerful statement for you and what you just said about going so you can do more. That's my same philosophy. How can I do more without losing more of me, right?
Yes.
And that's important. So tell us about your organization and the services that you provide.
So my organization is called the L&M Healing Umbrella, where you can be sheltered from life storms when they occur. It's a mental health organization where you can receive group therapy, one-on-one therapy, CBT therapy, cognitive behavior therapy, as well as mindfulness. We also provide immigration assessments, and just helping the young youth who's transitioning out of foster care into adulthood. So I find that population as well that really needs help, you know, because somewhere along the line they're not getting what they need to be successful and a productive citizen. And I want to be able to help them with their transitioning into adulthood.
It's tough. That is tough. I guess there's about to be, what is that? The committee said over 40 to 60,000 youth
Yes.
about to age out
Yes, that is correct.
nationally, and we have a housing shortage. We have a responsible people shortage. There's a number of things that that we're faced with. How do you help them when they've been through so much more abuse going in and out of these homes?
Yes.
And I'll say this, and I'll get off that horn, and Heather, you can add. But for everyone that decides to, because my family has been involved with foster care since the 70s.
Yes.
Very successful. Sisters, cousins, adopted, brother, brought them in, did everything,
yes.
right? My aunts, my cousins, my uncles, period, right? This is what we have done. But to do it on a bigger scale, it puzzles me because every time I walk into one of those meetings and I share, this great idea, it hits that wall and never moves, right? But although the resources are there, that idea hit that wall, and it kind of convinces you that you have to get somewhere in order to make that idea manifest, right?
Right.
Because you can't, counting on someone to manifest what you just put out sometimes is very difficult. Wow. So Heather, how would you like to add to that?
I think the services that
Yes.
the Healing Umbrella provide are so necessary.
Yes.
One of the areas that I was really, when I met LaJoy and she talked about with so much passion about even homeless youth, that you need somewhere to go. And I know we have a couple of organizations that deal with youth who are homeless or youth in transition. And the fact that she recognized that it's a real need for someone to stand in the gap. I love that the Healing Umbrella not only is a shelter from life's storms, but they also stand in the gap. It's so essential, just as a community, we need to know what services are available and where, so you can direct the right people to the right places. And everybody's service is not for everybody.
That's correct.
That service has to be really reflective of its leadership. So, and people who are listening to LaJoy today, you can feel the warmth and the care and the words that she's sharing. Like, if you want somebody to go somewhere where you think they're going to be taken care of and safe, you have to trust the space that they're going to. And sometimes we have to jump in and help volunteer and navigate those spaces to make them better spaces, because it's a lot of burden on the people who are doing this type of work. There's a lot of burden. And so I was reading an article around first responders as well. It said that first responders are the last to get the help and support they need. That includes police and fire. That includes those who are EMT workers, emergency workers, 911 workers. The same people who we count on to do what they do are the last ones to get the mental health services that they need to support them.
That is correct.
And it's so much judgment around when somebody needs help that we have to do our part to change that as well. That you ask for help, that you seek out help, that you receive help, says the how intelligent you really are. To know that there's a problem, to know that you don't have all the answers, and to seek out solution and those who can help you is a sign of intelligence. It's not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of strength. And so sometimes we look at the world upside down. We have to turn it right side up. So if as we need the help, that's why it's there. And so I just am so grateful to LaJoy and L&M Healing Umbrella that you are here, that you are present in the world, that there is another place to go. There's an alternative place to go. So that's really important to me. And for everybody that is out there doing that, as a personal change coach, I have a network of counselors and therapists that I work with, because I am not a therapist. I am not a counselor. I'm a coach. And so that means that there are deeper rooted areas that people need a specific type of support to help navigate, specific types of trauma to help navigate. And so to be able to have a team of people who you can share resources is important. And so the more we have these resources available in our community, the more we need to use them, good people. Let's use them.
That is so correct, Heather. I mean, I totally agree. And us at the Healing Umbrella, it is a non-judgmental, safe place where we try to help out as many people as possible within the community. But like you said, we do need people that can come in and fill these gaps with volunteers or wherever, because where we are as a society as a whole, we need all the help that we can get.
We do, absolutely.
So let me ask you this next question. What are some of the ways you've helped others address their issues of wellness?
Well, I have helped in many ways. The main way that I have helped as far as just directing them into the right direction. If it's something that I cannot handle at the L&M Healing Umbrella, I will direct them to someone who can help them. So I have taken people in. I done paid rent. I done fed the homeless. I done gave out diapers. I done took my whole check and just helped someone pay their rent so they wouldn't be homeless. So I try to go above and beyond when I can, and when I can't, I try to find other means or sources where they can get the services that they need.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So how do you see the healing and well-being needs of families expanding in the future? Like, as far as the future go, how do you see that expanding? I think that's important.
Well, I'm going to manifest it to...
Speak it, baby. Speak.
Yeah, I'm going to manifest it. We're $1 million company just on the brinks of helping everyone that we come in contact with. So I'm going to get the word out here. I'm going to put in the legwork. I'm going to walk through the communities and let them get the word out here and let them know that we're here. We're here in the community. We're willing to help, and we're just a phone call away.
Really? So you got a website and everything?
Yes, we have a website.
Oh, that's awesome. Good.
Yes,
good.
Yes.
Good. So we can bang that with us. We got you.
Well, I appreciate all the help I can get.
Yes. Heather?
So kind of the next question, it really is about this amazing health fair that you have coming up. And
Yay.
Also, I know that you have taken the leadership to recognize people in the community who are doing this work around this healing work, around building others and the types of support that they need. So can you tell us a little bit about that event first, if you don't mind?
Yes. So my first annual luncheon, appreciation luncheon, is May the 23rd at the Matrix Center on East McNichols in Detroit from 11 to 1. We will be acknowledging people within the community who has helped out people and don't get the recognition that they deserve. So we have a lot of AFC home providers, a lot of people that does great work in the community, and they really go unrecognized. So that's what the first annual appreciation luncheon is basically about.
And now tell us about the health fair.
So the health fair is May the 25th, also at the Matrix Human Services on East McNichols in Detroit, and it's from 11 to 4 p.m., and it will be addressing just health and wellness, mental health, regular health, anything to help you be healthy, mind, body, and spirit will be addressed at this health fair.
And is there a free event? Is
Yes.
it open to the public?
It's a free event. It's open to the public. All is welcome. It'll be raffles, food, and giveaways.
Okay. Can you give that address? Do you have that address to share?
1 second. Let me get it for you.
Okay. So while you're
Thank God for Google. Thank God for Google.
Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord.
Google. Google.
So while you're finding the address, I think it's going to be an amazing event. Just to have an opportunity to be around such positive energy can already infuse you with good health and wellness.
Yes. So I have the address. The address is 13560 East McNichols Road, Detroit, Michigan, and the parking is in the rear.
Okay. So we'll make sure that we put that information up as well.
It's a mental health facility right there at 7 Mile and Gratiot, right there in the same area.
I think
Right
that
in the
is a
corner.
new facility, if I'm not mistaken.
They are. You might want to reach out to them.
Okay.
They are. They're gonna shut down. I cannot think of the name of it right now, but they're gonna shut down sometime in the fall, and they're remodeling the whole facility.
Really?
Yeah, they take on a number of suicide cases. They take on a number of opioid cases. They take on a number of mental health cases right there. It's
Is it 7 in Gratiot or is it?
7 in Gratiot.
Okay.
Yep, because you at 6 Mile. The Matrix Center is not too far from there.
Because I know the NSO is right there on Harper and Gratiot.
Yeah.
And that zip code is 48205.
That's correct.
Okay, so that is East, good people. So making sure that everybody who is in that area
To
if
the
you can
east, my brother.
if you can attend,
Yes.
make yourself available. Come out and support. That's one area you can support. Come out and share the information. Draw other people in. When we talk about community events, we have to take advantage of those opportunities. A lot of us, may not have the financial resources to get some of the information that may be available there. So don't let that be a barrier to you. Let it be a blessing for you. So come out, support. I'm excited about this whole event, and I'm planning to be there myself and bringing some of the people in our program to let our families know that this is absolutely something that's available. I mean, and it could just be a family day. If you want to find something, a family-oriented event for your family, that's a great time to come.
It's important. I really want to speak to the people at this particular point. Like, if you don't just take that one step. Me and my brothers had a song called "Take a Step, Take a Step, Take One Step." This was back in our first album that didn't go past the sleeve. You know what I mean? But it was taking a step. We always say, if God take one step, if you take one step, God will take two. Right? But what is really the theory behind that? Right? So if you do take one step, that means you took one step toward what you want to do. We learn that by taking the one step is no longer procrastination. If you take one step 63 days, it become a habit. So that one step you took 63 times in 63 days becomes 2 steps, right? Because if you take that one step every day, eventually you're going to take that second step. And when we are talking and sharing, because each and every last one of us in this room, in our organizations, a lot of it we do for the culture. We do it for the community. We do it for the people. It is not something that people necessarily, when you find some people that can give to you, then you're more than blessed. But in other words, your journey is a journey, right? It's not something that, when you stepped out here, as you said, you've taken your check to help somebody get rent. So what are we learning for when you take a check, help somebody get rent? What is person? You can't go back to the same habits. It's such a commitment. Commitment is such a huge thing.
Yeah, it is.
Culturally, right? Because the cultures in America, it seems to always be under siege with something, right? And so when Heather and I was talking to family, and what you're talking about family and recreating that dynamic, right, of family, just imagine when we understand the good that comes from family, A lot of times, people, and this is my conversation, LaJoy, don't take it personal. When I say this, all ingredients count. This is my conversation for 2023, right? All ingredients count. And what I mean by that, that one step counts. That one event counts. That one reach out and have the conversation to help counts. The $5 or the $2 or the $1 or the 50 cent that you gave someone counts. All ingredients counts, but ultimately, in restoring the idea of family will increase the wealth of the community.
Yes, it will.
Poverty lies in the individual. Wealth lies in the family.
That's correct.
And if we understand and begin to understand that part, I was on the phone with my man earlier today. He was like, I'm having that meeting tonight, Cal. I'm having that meeting tonight with my family, right? And I'm telling them, get this knowledge out of me now. Don't let me be the only one with this knowledge. He said, and I'm telling my family. He said, because where else are you going to go? When you go to somebody else, when you can come right here. We got to get our mentalities and our minds right to be protective. We got to get out of the space attacking the woman. We got to get out of the space attacking the man. We got to get out of the space of acceptable culture being that of the single environment, the single mindset, the single household. No one should be doing anything around this country, from business, life, church, nonprofit, anything, by themselves.
But Calvin, we got to change their mindset.
Oh yeah, I agree.
You know what I'm saying? We got to start there with changing them their mindset. So mindfulness is basically helping them to learn how to think differently. Like when we go to church and we say we accept the Lord, we've been changed, and we want to be saved. That's just saying it. You have to study the Word. You have to feed your mind in order to change how you think, because you'll be continue to do the same thing over and over again. But a lot of people is just afraid of change.
Yeah, they are. Because that think about it. That calls for action.
Yes, it calls for action.
It calls for action.
Yeah,
I mean, you mean to tell me this is something you want me to do? Like, I want you to do this for me. I want you to hand this to me.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm going to hand it to you, but it's going to constitute some action. The one thing around here, right, you walked into this office, to this podcast, and the one thing around here is action.
Yeah.
This is not a place where we just come in here and chill.
Right.
No, it's always something going on with creative minds, philosophies, ideas. We're constantly throwing ideas at each other. We're constantly, right, and it's being shared. We're constantly checking up on one another. It calls for action. And for me, and for mine, and for Heather, and for hers, and for you, right, we understand the governance. Right? Family is a government.
Yes.
And so, in restoring it, again, from what you just said, even mindfulness of people taking a look at the things and how they can apply. Let's get it. I always tell them, if you get it on paper, then God can show up.
Yes.
If you just get it on paper, God can show up.
That's right.
For sure. This has been such an exciting space. We are in this space and time where the possibilities are so open and flowing. And if we are in the current, we can increase our currency. So that currency could be your creative expression, creative ability. That current could be the love of your life. That current could be the manifestation of that business that goes viral.
Yes.
The possibilities are endless for those who are open and courageously take those next steps. And it does begin with you.
It does.
So those areas that we need to heal, it's so important that we heal it, because again, what you do today, you affect generations. The choices and decisions that you make today affect generations, even if it is or isn't your own family.
That's
because
correct.
you exist at this time. Those ideas, those inventions, those concepts, the book you're supposed to write, this is affecting generations.
Yeah.
We can no longer sit by on the sidelines. There is no room on the sidelines anymore.
No, it takes a village.
It absolutely does. It absolutely does. And this is that time to build your network, build your net worth. And I heard Miles Monroe say something today about what it means to have a commonwealth. A commonwealth. And he broke that down today in a way that I had never heard it before. I thought commonwealth as a location.
Right.
I didn't think of it as our common ground and wealth being a part of that. That mindset, that just blessed me. That just blessed me today. It made me look at the things that we say and we hear in a different way, in a more empowered way.
Right.
So as we think about healing, we think about wellness. I love to point this out to people. If you were to spell the word health, right? Healthy. In the middle of it, it says heal, die. Heal, die.
Mind, body, and spirit.
Heal, die.
Yes, that's powerful.
What are we doing? We say we want to be healthy. If we're healthy, then we're healing that.
Yes.
We're saying a commitment. It's an action. I hear Calvin says it's a lot about God and love are verbs. They're action oriented. So even if you believe, then you should be always in action. If you use the word I am healthy, I am healed, then you should be also observing, implementing the action that goes behind whatever you claim behind I am.
That's correct.
Yeah, God is a verb.
Yes.
And it's required. It's the same thing for love. When you put love and God in the same context, but if you don't teach it, if you're not visible with it,
Yes.
right? If you don't experience it, in the birth, we were talking this morning, and I was sharing that one of the biggest mistakes we make is not coming together.
Yes.
In a unified process to birth a child. Right? We're good at the side piece. We're good at the lust, right? We have a lot of in birthing our children in the positions and the places we are, they will, and she wants me to do this whole thing in this chapter, but they will most definitely live out. It's called epigenetics, however you say that word, right? But the DNA code records where you are at the time of conception. This is where you can parent from. So, with my first child, for me, I was saved. Oh, praise the Lord. I was biblical.
Right.
Well, my son, my oldest son, he right there. My second son, I was way out there, and he way out there. He don't even come out, you know what I mean? And then my last two children that I had, they're right there. They're centered in family. They were born in that environment. They kind of understand. They get it. And they have their parents in them as well. But I understand in the position where I was when I had them. Now, my youngest boy, Cameron, my second to the youngest boy, because I have a stepson now, but my youngest boy, Cameron, has all of this in him.
Okay.
Right? Because I remember asking, right? I want another son. I understand the position that I was in.
Right.
And I prayed about it. And he got it. He has it, right? It's just a matter of, as he continues to go forward, how it's going to manifest in his life. But we're not parenting or looking at it from that way.
Right.
right? We don't have that information. Like, and when I had this conversation with parents and people, they're like blown away. So I always ask, when you bring me, what were you on when you had your oldest child, right? And when you look back, now you gotta parent different. What were you on when you had your next child, right? And when I look at my brothers and sisters, right, from the oldest, my oldest brother has been married 40 years. So he was at the height of the marriage. My sister, she married now. My brother, Cream, he married. He did it one time, and that was it. Me, I gave it a shot. I continue to give it a shot because I'm a 65 baby. So I'm right there, the warrior, born in the time of 65, the height of the civil rights.
Right.
Then here come my brother behind. He ain't buying nothing. He is as single-minded as you can come, as my parents were at the time he was conceived. And then my sister that's behind him. And then my youngest brother, same thing, right? And he's had to experience. So in evaluating where we are, it's ultimately important in understanding our children and when we have them and how we conceive them. So that's a model that you can learn to parent from, because each child is different. And so with that being the case, we are at the bewitching hour. I want you to share your favorite affirmation and where people can reach you at. And thank you for sharing all this great information.
Well, okay. Thank you, Calvin, for you and Heather for having me here today. The health fair will be May the 25th at the Matrix Human Services at 13560 East McNichol Road in Detroit, Michigan. Once again, that is May the 25th from 11 to 4 p.m. Come on out and enjoy this great event.
Your website and your favorite affirmation.
My website is healingumbrella.org. Yes. And the phone number for the Healing Umbrella is 248 Heather.
I wish I could remember by heart.
I know, right? Okay, it's 248-619-6485. That is the direct number for the Healing Umbrella. Please reach out if you have any questions or you just need to schedule an appointment.
Okay. Your favorite affirmation.
Once again, the Matrix Human Services, the address is 13560 East McNichols Road. The event is May the 25th from 11 to 4 p.m.
Give me your favorite quote.
The Healing Umbrella, where you can shelter from the life storm.
Okay. Heather, where they can reach you at and your favorite affirmation.
You can reach me at www.yourinspiredjourney.com. You can reach me by phone at 313-759-7855. You can also Google me if you can't find me there, but make sure you put Heather Heteru, Hetheru Miller.
Yeah, you make that hard.
Yeah, but trust me, it's better than having to go through 6,000 Heather Millers, which there are in Michigan. So I guess my favorite affirmation. So what the affirmation of my home is, we are the house of can, and that's CAN. We can do whatever we set our mind to. My favorite philosophy, however, is that if I am not part of the solution, then I'm part of the problem, and I refuse to be part of the problem.
Amen.
All right. I guess that leaves it to Papa Bear.
Okay.
So, of course, you know I'm Calvin T. Man. You can reach me at EMIYworld.com, EMIY world.com. You can do the same thing on Instagram, same thing on Twitter. You can also reach me at goodfathersonly.com. Same thing on Twitter, same thing on Instagram. More importantly, I think we need to understand how important the services that are in the community are. I think we need to do a better job of investing directly into the services that is providing directly in your backyard. It is such a disheartening thing to see so many people, and it's your prerogative, to do these things. I just think it's important to, right in your backyard, here is the Healing Umbrella, right? If you go to the healingumbrella.org, if you give $10 to Red Cross and have given nothing to the healingumbrella.org, you have not helped your community. Mm-hmm. The Red Cross has already shown you what they do with the money that you give them. Ask Hurricane Katrina. Mm-hmm. In that process, I think we need to understand that it is within our reach, as I tell the fathers. If you stand out on the porch and you can look as far as the right as you can see, and you look as far as the right to your left that you can see, right and left, that is your governance area. You must understand that these are the areas and the locations for which children play. Now, if you do that, if it's 100 fathers doing that, then you are protecting the environments for which these children play. Mm-hmm. Now, getting out of the environment where we absorbed in drug use, because the black male in Wayne County has surpassed the white male in drug overdoses. So Narcan trainings and things like that have increased, and we have to do a better job of taking care of our men. I seen another story where a man was found in his home, no one was around, the whole nine. We have to do a better job of taking care of each other.
That's correct.
With that being said, my favorite affirmation and my favorite quote, which is a Calvin T. Mann quote, is, "One God gave me, and He's given me plenty. Beautiful is the only way to say family." Peace.